The comedy world and hip-hop culture just collided in a way no one saw coming. Charlie Kirk, the controversial conservative commentator, thought he could take shots at entertainers, comedians, and rappers without consequences. But within hours, legends like Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and even 50 Cent decided they'd had enough. And when they broke their silence, the internet went into absolute meltdown. Clips are going viral right now, showing Katt Williams roasting Kirk in a way that only Katt can. Brutally honest, painfully funny, and sharper than a razor. Dave Chappelle, usually one to avoid direct political beef, shocked everyone by delivering a chilling, calculated response that had fans whispering, "He's not laughing anymore. He's serious." And 50 Cent. Well, you already know when Fifth jumps in. It's not subtle. His response was so raw, so savage, that fans are calling it the most disrespectful clapback of the year. But here's the thing. This isn't just about comedy, politics, or rap. This feels bigger. This feels personal. And the way these three cultural giants are exposing Charlie Kirk has left fans divided. Celebrities stunned and the media scrambling to catch up. Because if the rumors are true, this battle is only getting started. Charlie Kirk is no stranger to controversy. For years, he has built his brand on saying the most polarizing, inflammatory statements possible, targeting celebrities, politicians, athletes, and anyone he feels doesn't align with his conservative ideology. From college campuses to late-night podcasts, Kirk has made a career out of creating enemies. But what he didn't realize was that some enemies don't just argue back, they come for your entire reputation. And that's exactly what happened when his comments about comedians and entertainers hit the wrong ears. In a recent viral clip, Kirk mocked comedians for being overpaid clowns who, in his words, brainwash the culture with nonsense while pretending to be philosophers. He didn't stop there, he claimed. Rappers were the downfall of American youth and, specifically, singled out Hollywood for letting comedians push dangerous ideas under the guise of jokes. Those words might have flown under the radar if the targets weren't legends. Enter Katt Williams. A man known for fearless comedy, Katt has spent decades ripping apart Hollywood corruption, shady insiders, and fake celebrities. His reputation as the truth-teller of comedy meant that when Charlie Kirk threw his jab, Katt was the first to respond. And he didn't hold back. Fans immediately began sharing Katt's scorched earth-style interviews, predicting that if he chose to address Kirk directly, it would be devastating. Then there's Dave Chappelle. Unlike Katt, Chappelle rarely engages in direct beefs. His style has always been surgical, weaving political and cultural critique into comedy that cuts deep without ever naming names. But insiders revealed that Chappelle had grown tired of commentators like Kirk dismissing comedians as clowns. For Dave, who views comedy as one of the last bastions of truth-telling, Kirk's words weren't just insulting, they were dangerous. Fans began speculating that Chappelle would step into the ring, not with jokes, but with wisdom so sharp it would leave Kirk speechless. And then, 50 Cent. If you know 50, you know he doesn't miss an opportunity to roast. From Instagram posts to interviews, he's built a career out of humiliating his rivals, whether they're rappers, actors, or even major corporations. For 50, beef isn't a side gig, it's a sport. And when he caught wind of Kirk's remarks about rappers being the downfall of America, he smelled blood in the water. Fans immediately predicted 50's about to end this man's career with one meme. This wasn't just random personalities responding to Kirk. This was a lineup of cultural juggernauts, each with their own style of attack. Katt with raw truth and comedy, Chappelle with layered intellect and gravitas, 50 Cent with pure savagery and mockery. Together, they formed an unexpected trio ready to dismantle a conservative firebrand who thought he was untouchable. And fans knew this wasn't going to stay small. When Katt, Chappelle, and 50 speak, the culture listens. Twitter threads pop off. TikTok edits trend. YouTube explodes with reaction videos. This wasn't going to be some quiet back and forth. This was going to be a cultural earthquake. The stage was set. Charlie Kirk had thrown the first stone. And now 3 of the most dangerous voices in comedy and hip-hop were ready to throw it back. Harder, sharper, and louder than anyone expected. Because when Kirk dismissed comedians and rappers as clowns, destroying the culture, he forgot one thing. Clowns might make you laugh, but these men? They can also make you cry, make you think, and most importantly, they can make you irrelevant overnight. And as the tension built, fans waited, holding their breath for the first official clapback. When it came, it wasn't subtle, it was nuclear. The internet had been buzzing for days, waiting for the first move. Charlie Kirk's comments were still echoing across social media. Clips replayed endlessly with captions like, "Who's gonna check him?" And he picked the wrong fight. Fans knew the response was coming. They just didn't know when or how hard it would hit. Then it happened. Katt Williams was the first to strike. In a surprise podcast appearance, he lit into Kirk with the kind of brutal honesty only Katt could deliver. He leaned into the mic, his voice calm but dripping with venom. Charlie Kirk said, "Comedians are clowns. Sir, clowns are professionals. They wear paint, they make balloons, they bring joy. You, my friend, you're not a clown. You're the balloon, full of hot air, ready to pop at the slightest pressure." The clip went viral instantly. Twitter exploded. Fans spammed laughing emojis and crying GIFs, while one tweet racked up 1 million likes. Katt Williams just murdered Charlie Kirk with one balloon joke. Career finished. But Katt wasn't done. He got dead serious. Comedy has been the voice of truth since the beginning of time. Kings had jesters because the jester was the only one who could speak truth without being killed. We comedians are not clowns, we're prophets with punchlines. And if Charlie Kirk can't see that, then maybe the joke's on him. Fans were stunned. This wasn't just roasting, this was dismantling Kirk's entire worldview in one monologue, hours later. Dave Chappelle made his move, but in typical Chappelle fashion. It was calculated, subtle, and devastating. During a surprise set at a comedy club, he addressed Kirk's remarks. Charlie Kirk says comedians brainwash people. Well, maybe. But if people trust the jokes more than they trust you, maybe you ain't doing your job. Maybe you ain't trustworthy. The crowd erupted. But then Chappelle dropped the line that became a cultural moment. The difference between me and Charlie is this. When I talk, people laugh and think. When he talks, people just think he's laughing. The internet lost its mind. Fans flooded timelines. That's it. Chappelle just ended him with one sentence. Memes poured in, showing Kirk's face photoshopped into stand-up stages with captions like, "The joke writes itself." But the real bomb was yet to come. Enter 50 Cent out of nowhere. Fifth posted on Instagram a split-screen meme of Charlie Kirk next to a clown from the movie It, with the caption, "At least the clown got jokes. You just look funny." It instantly went viral. Celebrities liked it. Blogs reposted it. And in true 50 Cent fashion, he didn't stop there. He followed up with a video of himself laughing and saying, "Charlie Kirk worried about rappers ruining America. Bro, your forehead been ruining Wi-Fi signals since birth. Sit down." The internet couldn't breathe. Fans screamed, "This is 50's best roast since Ja Rule." Others begged, "Please someone check on Charlie Kirk. This man's done." But then came the twist. Instead of going silent, Charlie Kirk clapped back. On his podcast, he addressed Katt, Dave, and 50 directly. "These so-called celebrities think they can bully me. They hide behind jokes, behind rap lyrics, behind their fans. But I deal in truth. And the truth is, they're terrified of what I represent. Real values, real America, not the circus they profit from. His words set off another explosion online. Fans were shocked he dared to fight back, and instantly the debate got uglier. Kirk supporters began trending hashtags like #StandWithCharlie, while others doubled down with #ComedyWins and #50endedCharlie. But the biggest twist. Leaked DMs surfaced, allegedly showing a member of Kirk's team reaching out to another comedian, offering money to take shots back at Katt and Dave. The screenshots spread like wildfire. If true, this wasn't just a debate. This was war. Fans screamed betrayal, so he's paying people to roast them back. Weak. Others speculated, if he's this desperate, the clapbacks must have really hurt. Now the stage was set for something even bigger. This wasn't just back-and-forth banter. This was about influence, control, and the fight for who gets to speak truth to the culture. And if the leaks were real, Charlie Kirk wasn't just losing the argument, he was losing his grip on credibility itself. The first shots had been fired. The first twist had been revealed. And now, the world was waiting for escalation. After Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent tore into Charlie Kirk, the internet thought the drama had peaked. But oh no, this was just the beginning. Because once the clapbacks went viral, the story took on a life of its own. Twitter turned into a full-blown war zone. On one side were Kirk's defenders, tweeting things like, "Charlie's the only one brave enough to stand against Hollywood's woke agenda." On the other side were comedy and hip-hop fans, firing back with "Brr, you just got roasted by 3 legends in 1 week. Sit down." Then the memes began. Millions of them. One showed Kirk photoshopped sitting in the front row of a Katt Williams show, sweating bullets, with the caption, "POV, you just called comedians clowns." Another had 50 Cent handing Kirk a balloon, with the text, "Since you wanted circus energy, here you go." Even celebrities were reposting the memes, adding fuel to the fire. But the real escalation came when a fake Twitter thread went viral, claiming to have receipts of Kirk sending private DMs to his team. In the alleged messages, Kirk supposedly admitted, "We can't compete with them. They have platforms, influence, and humor. If we don't spin this, we're done." Whether real or fake, the screenshots spread like wildfire. Fans took it as proof that Kirk was cracking under pressure. Meanwhile, Katt Williams doubled down. During another interview, he laughed and said, "See, Charlie messed up. He called me a clown. That's fine. But what do clowns do? They draw crowds. And now, everybody's watching him get roasted for free." The crowd around him roared with laughter, clips trending instantly on TikTok with captions like "Katt is undefeated." But then, Chappelle shocked everyone. In a rare public statement outside of a comedy set, he told an audience, "What Charlie Kirk doesn't understand is that comedy isn't about jokes. It's about freedom. If he thinks silencing comedians will save his ideology, then he's not fighting comedians. He's fighting freedom itself." The audience gave him a standing ovation. Fans posted the clip everywhere, declaring, "Dave turned this from comedy beef to a freedom of speech movement." And right when it felt like Kirk was drowning in humiliation, he attempted to strike back with a speech at one of his rallies. "They think jokes make them untouchable. They think roasting me makes them right. But mark my words, history won't remember clowns. History remembers truth." But that's when the shocking reveal dropped. A popular gossip blog claimed to have obtained an internal email from Kirk's own staff, showing panic behind the scenes. The leaked email allegedly read, "We underestimated the backlash." The attacks from Williams, Chappelle, and 50 Cent are trending worldwide. Sponsors are asking questions. We need to pivot the narrative or risk long-term damage. The internet went ballistic. Fans screamed. Even his own team knows he's losing. Others mocked. Imagine losing to a stand-up joke, a punchline, and a meme. 50 Cent wasted no time trolling. He reposted the email headline with the caption, "You fighting comedians and you losing sponsors. Laws should have fought Ja Rule again instead." The comment section was pure chaos, filled with laughing emojis, fire emojis, and fans begging 50 to never stop. Suddenly, this wasn't just a feud. This was a cultural event. News anchors debated whether celebrities had too much influence over politics. Podcasts exploded with episodes about the death of conservative credibility. And every day, new twists kept pouring gasoline on the fire. But the wildest rumor yet. Insiders began whispering that Chappelle, Katt, and 50 were planning to appear together on the same stage. Same night, just to roast Kirk live. Twitter nearly imploded at the idea. Fans begged for tickets. Memes showed Kirk running away from a comedy stage. And one viral tweet said, "If these three link up, it's not a show. It's a funeral." Whether real or exaggerated, the possibility of the trio uniting was enough to turn this feud into legend. And the shocking reveal was clear. Charlie Kirk wasn't just fighting three individuals. He was fighting culture itself, comedy, hip-hop, and free speech. All rolled into one unstoppable force. And the worst part for him? The fight wasn't even close to over by now. The feud wasn't just trending, it had completely taken over pop culture. Social media, podcasts, morning talk shows, even mainstream news were locked in on one question. Did Charlie Kirk just pick the worst possible enemies in comedy and hip-hop? On Twitter, battle lines were drawn like it was war. Kirk supporters spammed hashtags like #truth over comedy and #StandWithCharlie, calling Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent Hollywood puppets. But the pushback was brutal. Comedy and rap fans flooded the feeds with their own hashtags, #ClowningCharlie and #ComedyWins, posting thousands of memes and clips every hour. TikTok was a battlefield of creativity. Viral edits paired Katt's balloon joke with circus music, racking up millions of views. Chappelle's "When I Talk." People think line was turned into motivational soundbites plastered over videos of Kirk looking confused at rallies. And 50 Cent's meme of Kirk next to it became a trending soundbite, with users captioning their own beefs as "at least the clown got jokes." Celebrities began choosing sides, some subtly, some loudly. Tiffany Haddish reposted Katt's roast with crying emojis, calling it legendary. Kevin Hart, usually cautious, tweeted, "You can't out-argue a comedian. You'll never win." Rapper Meek Mill threw in his 2 cents, 50 trolling Charlie is the funniest thing I've seen all year. Even known entertainers weighed in. Sports stars like Damian Lillard tweeted Chappelle's freedom quote with a mic drop emoji. Political commentators clashed on news panels, with one Fox anchor calling the comedians bullies, while an MSNBC host shot back, "If telling jokes is bullying, then politics is just lying louder." But the most shocking reaction came from fans at the ground level. At one of Charlie Kirk's live events, hecklers in the crowd began shouting Katt's balloon line. Clips of Kirk getting visibly flustered as the audience laughed at his expense spread across Twitter like wildfire. One caption read, "Charlie Kirk getting booed with Katt Williams jokes at his own rally. Tragic." Meanwhile, comedy clubs were buzzing. Tickets for Katt Williams and Dave Chappelle shows began selling out instantly, fans hoping they'd hear more direct shots. Promoters leaned into it, advertising sets as uncensored nights where no politician is safe. The industry couldn't ignore it either. Blogs like Complex, XL, and The Shade Room ran back-to-back updates with headlines like, "Katt Williams turns Kirk into a punchline heard round the world. Dave Chappelle's wisdom turns." Comedy feud into movement. 50 Cent once again proves nobody is safe from his trolls. Even CNN got in on it with a segment titled, "When Comedy Meets Politics, the Charlie Kirk Fallout." A panelist declared, "This isn't comedians attacking Charlie Kirk. This is culture rejecting him." But while the majority of reactions humiliated Kirk, a surprising wave of backlash started brewing. Some conservative voices argued that Katt, Chappelle, and 50 were ganging up unfairly. A right-wing podcast even claimed, "This is proof Hollywood and hip-hop are colluding to silence conservative voices." That clip got shared around by Kirk's loyalists, fueling even more division. The public was officially split. For every fan screaming that Kirk had been culturally executed, another was defending him as a truth-teller being targeted by elites. And then the industry whispers got louder. Insiders began leaking that sponsors tied to Kirk's events were nervous. Allegedly, one major backer even paused funding after the Katt and Chappelle clips dominated the news cycle. If true, Kirk wasn't just losing an argument. He was losing money. He was losing money. The chaos didn't slow down. Every hour brought a new meme, a new reaction, a new clip that made Kirk look weaker. But fans could feel it, something bigger was still brewing. Because Chappelle, Katt, and 50 had broken their silence. But insiders were hinting that none of them were done, and if their next moves were even more brutal than the first wave, then Charlie Kirk's nightmare was only just beginning, just when it seemed like Charlie Kirk had been roasted into oblivion. The story twisted in a way nobody saw coming. A mysterious clip began circulating late at night, not from Katt, not from Chappelle, not from 50 Cent, but allegedly from Charlie Kirk's own private meeting. In the grainy footage, Kirk is seen pacing back and forth, speaking to a small group. His voice is sharp, angry, and paranoid. "They think they're destroying me with jokes. No, they're exposing themselves. Comedy is manipulation. Rap is propaganda. And if I have to, I'll reveal what I know about them. I've got files. They don't want me to talk." The internet froze. Files? What files? Within minutes, hashtags like #KirkFiles and #ComedyExposed started trending. Fans speculated wildly. Did Charlie Kirk have dirt on these legends? Or was this just another desperate attempt to save face? But then came the real bomb. A gossip site claimed that insiders confirmed Kirk had been in quiet talks with other controversial figures, allegedly planning a full-scale documentary targeting Hollywood comedians and rappers. The rumored title? The Circus of Culture. The supposed goal? To portray Katt, Chappelle, and 50 Cent as manipulators destroying America from within. Fans erupted. This man about to commit career suicide. Others warned, if he drops a doc, Katt Williams is gonna roast him into early retirement. And as the rumors swirled, Katt Williams posted a cryptic Instagram story, a circus tent emoji, nothing else. Within seconds, fans connected the dots. Was Katt already aware of the so-called circus project? Was he mocking it before it even dropped? Dave Chappelle added fuel with his own mysterious line during a surprise set, "When you play with fire, sometimes you don't just get burned, you get filmed." The crowd erupted, knowing exactly what he meant, and then 50 Cent. He went nuclear. He posted an old photo of Charlie Kirk in high school, awkwardly dressed, with the caption, "This the man trying to expose somebody. Bro, you've been exposed since sophomore year." The internet collapsed. Memes flooded in. The humiliation was endless, but the cliffhanger remained. If Charlie Kirk truly had files, he really was working on a project to go after these three giants, then the war wasn't over. In fact, it was just beginning. Would Kirk actually release this Circus of Culture documentary? Would Katt, Chappelle, and 50 strike first with their own coordinated counterattack? Nobody knew. But one thing was certain. This wasn't just a feud anymore. This was a cultural battle. And the next move could change everything, as one viral tweet summed it up perfectly. Comedy and hip-hop already buried Charlie Kirk. But if he drops those files, we might be watching the most chaotic showdown of the decade. The stage was set. The world was waiting. And the silence before the next explosion was louder than ever. And that's where things stand right now. Charlie Kirk thought he could call comedians, clowns, and rappers the downfall of America, eh? But the clapbacks from Katt Williams, Dave Chappelle, and 50 Cent turned the tables faster than anyone expected. From balloon jokes to intellectual mic drops to savage Instagram memes, Kirk has been dragged through the mud in front of the entire world. But now we're left with a question that nobody can answer yet. What's next? Do you believe Charlie Kirk really has those so-called files on Katt, Chappelle, and 50? And if so, do you think he'll actually release them? Or is this just another desperate attempt to stay relevant while the internet laughs at his expense? And let's flip it. Do you think Katt, Chappelle, and 50 will unite and fire back even harder if Kirk keeps pushing? Imagine all three of them on one stage, one mic, one night, tearing Kirk apart in front of a live audience. Would that be the final nail in the coffin? I want to know what you think. Jump into the comments right now and tell me, are you hashtag Team Katt? Hashtag Team Chappelle? Hashtag Team 50? Or, and be honest, are you still rocking with hashtag Team Charlie after all this chaos? Smash that like button if you think this feud is about to get even crazier. Hit subscribe and turn on notifications because trust me, the moment Kirk makes his next move, or if these three legends drop their own coordinated response, I'll be here breaking it all down the second it happens. This isn't over. Not even close. Because if Charlie Kirk really drops that so-called documentary, the culture war is going nuclear. And when it does, you'll want a front row seat.